Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, the 2023 Conference Tournament Extravaganza, where I preview and predict every conference tournament. First up is the Atlantic Sun. That will get underway Monday, February 27th. For the first round, the quarterfinals are Tuesday, February 28th. The semifinals, Thursday, March 12th. Then the championship, Sunday, March 5th. You know the rules. I do my projections on how the tournament play out. And for the games we know, I give out totals. And for the games we really, in theory, don't know, I don't give out totals because you don't know how many points a team is going to score in that particular matchup. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go over the schools real quick. So the 1 seed is Kennesaw State, 23-8 overall in the year, 15-3 in conference play. Your 2 seed is Liberty, 24-7 overall in the year, 15-3 in conference play. Your 3 seed is Eastern Kentucky, 19-12 on the year, 12-6 in conference play. Your 4 seed is Stetson, 17-12 on the year, 12-6 in conference play. Your 5 seed is Lipscomb. They went 19-12 overall, 11-7 in conference play. Your 6th seed is North Alabama, 18-13 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. 7's North Florida, 14-16 on the year, 9-9 in conference play. Your 8th seed is Bellarmine, 14-17 on the year, 9-9 in conference play. Your 9 seed's Queens, 17-14 on the year, 7-11 in conference play. And Florida Gulf Coast is your 10 seed, 17-14 overall in the year, and 7-11 in conference play. Bellarmine and Queens, by the way, ineligible for the 2023 NCAA tournament due to transition from Division II. So, I mean, it's unlikely that either of those teams win the tournament anyway, but if that was the case, then the loser of the championship game would be in the tournament, which we had that situation, I believe, in the Atlantic Sun one year where you had the yes, it was last year. Bellarmine was not in the tournament. But, Jacksonville State won the auto bid. So, that was because they were the conference's top overall seed. And they had a different format last year. They had, the east side and the west side of the bracket. But they did away with that this year. But so it looks like that if Queens or Bellarmine wins this tournament, then Kennesaw State would get the auto bid because they're the top seed. So I didn't know that. But that was the case last year. All right, let's get to projections. So Monday, February 27th, first round. 10 seed Florida Gulf Coast, 9 seed Queens, 7 o'clock from Queens' arena. Gulf Coast, not your typical Gulf Coast team. They've been a contender through the years. So they have a couple of solid players. Isaiah Thompson, Chase Johnston, and Zach Anderson. They're your consistent, big three, per se, on the year. And then Queens is new to the party. They have 2 pretty good scorers, and Kenny Dye and A.J. McKee. And both of them have played in every game this year, so that's good. My projection for this game is Gulf Coast by 3, total 146 and 9/10. So therefore, I am advancing Florida Gulf Coast over Queens as they'll get the win on the road. And then the second of 2, and by the way, it's 10-9 and 8-7 going against each other this year, which is a part of the new tournament, as all rounds reseed instead of a traditional bracket. And to that end, 9 plays 10 and 7 plays 8 in the first round rather than the usual 7, 10, 8, 9. So your 7-8 is Bellarmine, North Florida. So Bellarmine, their two consistent guys are Garrett Tipton and Ben Johnson. And on the other hand, with North Florida, they have a really solid threesome. Carter Hendrickson, Jose Placer, and Jarius Hicklin. I think that they're the better team. I have them projected 5.3 favored in the total 143 and a fifth. So therefore, I have North Florida advancing. All right, the quarterfinals, which will be the next day, February 28th. So some of these teams are going to be playing back-to-back. All games will be at 7 o'clock Eastern. So the 9-10 winner will play at Kennesaw State. So therefore, in my projections, it's Florida Gulf Coast. Kennesaw State, one of the really good teams in this league this year. A solid big three. Chris Youngblood, Terrell Burden, and Demon Robinson. And then Gulf Coast we just talked about. I have Kennesaw as a 7.7 favorite in this spot. So therefore, I have Kennesaw State advancing. Next of quarterfinal games, you have 5-seed Lipscomb and 4-seed Stetson. Lipscomb, they have one of the better players in the conference in Jacob Ognovic, who's a sophomore forward. And they have two other pretty solid players in Darren Boyd and Will Pruitt. And on the other side with Stetson, they have a well-rounded team. Jalen Blackman's their best player. They have Stephon Swenson and Luke Brown, too. The thing with Stetson is that they played less games than everybody in their conference. They played 29 compared to most of the teams played 31. Anyway, I project Lipscomb 0.7 favorites, total 148 and the 20th. They probably have the best player on the court in Ognovic. So I'm advancing them to play Kennesaw State. All right, 7-seed North Florida at 2-seed Liberty. Liberty's really good. They're a perennial team in this league every year. Darius McGee is still there, amazingly enough. He's probably going to be the ASUN Player of the Year again. And Kyle Rhodes, their second best player. And McGee's just a beast. And I project Liberty here 14 over North Florida. So they should dominate that game. And then your 6-3, I have 6-seed North Alabama and 3-seed Eastern Kentucky. North Alabama, well-balanced team. Solid guards Daniel Ortiz, Jasari Lane, and KJ Johnson. And then Eastern Kentucky, pretty good team this year in that league. Two very solid scorers, a guard in Devontae Blanton and a forward, Michael Moreno. I think Blanton's probably the best player on the court in this game. I project Eastern by 3, total 147 and 2/5. So therefore, I have Eastern Kentucky advancing to take on Liberty. Semifinals, 5-seed Lipscomb, 1-seed Kennesaw State. Pretty good game. You have, obviously, Ognovic of Lipscomb and Youngblood and company on Kennesaw State. I think Kennesaw is better. I project them 6.3 favorites over Lipscomb, so therefore I have Kennesaw State advancing to the championship. And then the other semifinal, 3-seed Eastern Kentucky and 2-seed Liberty. Talked about Eastern Kentucky a little bit a couple seconds ago. Blanton is a very good player, but McGee's the best player, easy, on the court and perhaps in this tournament. So I project Liberty 13.3 over Eastern Kentucky, so therefore I have Liberty advancing. And then the championship, which would be Sunday, March 5th at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. And by the way, the semifinals are Thursday, March 2nd, so they have a one-day break between the quarters and the semis. So my projections here, 2-seed Liberty at 1-seed, Kennesaw State. It should be a really, really fun game. I still think McGee's the best player on the court here. I project Liberty 1.7, so therefore I have the Liberty Flames winning the 2023 Atlantic Sun Conference Tournament. Alrighty, so that's it for the Ace Sun Pod. Tomorrow, I'm going to come out with podcasts for the Sun Belt, the Horizon, and the Patriot Leagues. So stay tuned for that. And then all throughout next week and into the following week, we will have more conference tournament preview and prediction shows. Have a good one, everyone.